never stop learning because life never stopped teaching. That's how I'm here today. Bob called me around 10 o'clock. Mandeep, we are doing Smart PowerTalk. I thought the concept I prepared today, why cybersecurity matters to everyone, because I thought I can go and talk about my research. And I talked to Bob in this afternoon. I said, Bob, I have lecture notes and as well as my presentation. He said, no, Mandeep. You have to talk about yourself. I said, great, what I'm going to talk about myself. I'm not that old enough, I'm not 40 yet, but people are going to learn from me. He said, no, just talk about yourself. So here I am, that's what I'm going to do. But never assume, especially if Bob asks you something, ask for more detail. That's what last night I learned today. Thank you, Bob. Okay. So, my name is Mandeep. I have done my bachelor, my master, and my PhD from Kwantlen University, UK. I've spent my good life there, almost 17 to 18 years, early schooling, like the college from there as well. So, when I start my PhD, when I finish actually my master program, after that, my university started working on cybersecurity. I'm talking about 2006 and 7, and that time, the cybersecurity concept was really very new, and we do have courses in the university, but we never had a proper degree in cybersecurity or forensic. So my professor, his name was Rashid Anand, as well as Peter Avery. We all had a meeting and we started talking about the cybersecurity concept. And when I started my PhD, I think after a few days after, I got hired as an assistant just to work with them. And I think not even a month after, my professor was attending a conference in Europe. He missed his flight. He called me. He said, Mandeep, can you deliver a lecture for me? I said, okay. I was very excited. Everybody else thinking about lecture, but I just went home, I dressed up, changed, because in UK you're not allowed, at least my university, to wear jeans. You have to dress up. I said, okay. That time was around 2 o'clock. Then I said, what am I going to teach now? So my very first lecture, what I taught my student, that was wireless security. And that's what that time, my very first lecture. Have you heard about the Pringle chips? Pringle chips? Everybody heard about? Okay. So my very first lecture was, we had made a Pringle with a Pringle that was cost around 100 or 150 pounds. We made a Pringle box with a wireless antenna, and I taught my students how they can hack WEP and WPA1 with a wireless antenna. And after that we done lab, and we just like 2-hour activity with the lab as well. And my professor came back and he said, Mandeep, head of department, want to see you. I said, oh my God, what I did? He said, no, they want to see you. And I went to my head of the department, and then after that she said, Mandeep, why are you not applying for a full-time position here? Because we're going to advertise soon. I said, but I don't have experience. He said, you should apply. I applied, and I got a job. So basically, I got my job because of these Pringle chips. I'm always thankful to this, to be honest, very honest. I never thought about what I'm going to do, right? So God is very kind to me. Always I get it, whatever I want. But for sure, I'm a hard worker, and I'm a very positive person for sure. So I was working since 2007, September. I worked in UK since up to 2013. That period, we have designed a bachelor in ethical hacking network security, master as well. And we were the very first who actually designed the bachelor in ethical hacking and network security. And we had first batch 34 students, and every single one able to get a job before even completing their bachelor degree. And everybody's salary was kind of better what we are earning that time as a full-time professors. So which was really encouraging for us, and as well as for our students as well. So after that, I think I worked there until 2013 September. During that time, most of my family moved from UK to Canada. Some part of the family moved to Ottawa. So we thought, myself and my husband, okay, let's go to Canada. First time actually we came here in 2009, but that time for some reason we didn't like, we went back. And then 2013 we don't have anybody there, so we decided to kind of like go back to Canada. And we came here. So very first job, I got it, I moved here in August 2nd, and I got my job in end of August as a full-time with the KPU, Polytechnic University. And I worked there for 2 years. I'm still working there as a full-time, and then have another opportunity with the University of Fraser Valley. They're looking for a part-time instructor, sessional, we call here. So they said, Mandeep, we have a one course in security for second year. If you'd like to teach, I said, okay. So I worked for them as a sessional for 2 years. And then they advertised the position as an assistant professor at KPU. Yes, we have we don't have a tenure track. KPU is a university, but still we have some limitation under the college stream. So I applied at UFV as assistant professor, but I told them during my interview, I said I'm applying for this job, but I don't want to leave Kwantlen. I love there. I got a lot of opportunity. I'm working on certain funding and so can the other. So if I'm leaving now, it's not fair. So I'm not sure you're able to offer me full-time position or not, but I'm definitely not going to leave Kwantlen right now. And it took them some time, but eventually I got that position as well. So currently I'm full-time in 2 universities, Kwantlen and Fraser Valley, as assistant professor, but I'm enjoying both jobs for a time being. How long I can take both, I'm not sure, because I don't have any responsibility yet, so I'm enjoying it. In terms of my research, I do a lot of research in cybersecurity. We are doing one project with I think that's not completed yet. We started in 2017. That's the dark web crawler. So basically, if you're familiar with the web, we have a visible web, deep web, and dark web, right? Deep web, visible, which you can kind of like search with the help of Google. And then we have a deep web, which is indexable, so you need username and password like your Gmail. And then we have a deep, dark web, right? Dark web is Google search engine is not possible to retrieve, like you search and the other information. And dark web only people use who like to hide the information from law enforcement, right? So that's what dark web is all about. So we're doing good research in that. And IoT, intrusion detection system, the proxy detection, and I managed to secure some funding for my students. So at the moment is 11 to 12 students working with me, research assistant, and they're doing a lot of good work. And in terms of teaching, when I teach, my concept is more applied-based teaching, right? Because I'm teaching in cybersecurity. We cannot use book in cybersecurity or forensic. For example, you start writing your book, could be in 2015, go to publication 17, 18. Material is already sort of old, but if you're teaching concept, that's absolutely fine. But if you're going through the labs and the other stuff, or like certain attacks or countermeasure, that's not going to be helpful for sure. Right? So the way I'm teaching it, we are using real-world experiences and materials. I can give you one simple example. The way we are doing it, for example, the teaching. Yesterday I had a class, web security class. So I built a server for my student. My husband has a cybersecurity company. He kind enough, he kind of like gave me some server room where I can put my student stuff and my university stuff, but we definitely have a proper like the access control and everything. So when I'm teaching my web security class taught yesterday, so first I talk about what is web security all about, and then I build attacks, like all different sort of attack, either SQL injection or cross-site scripting and all the DOS other attacks. So they actually perform the attacks, right? Once they have performed the attack, then I take over. I say, let's talk about countermeasure, prevention measures. So then we talk about the prevention measure, and then I just like give it to them again. I say, okay, now let's whatever you found the vulnerability, let's now fix it. So then they fix the vulnerability, they done everything. So basically, the story, when I doing my work, I'm enjoying it, so I don't feel that I'm teaching 2 hours, 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day. I just feel like I'm enjoying what I'm doing it, and my contribution, I do like contribution because as a professor, if you think seriously, it's a big responsibility. Think about your own kids, right? That's what I do, because they're sending to you, and it's your responsibility if you're not teaching them. Like, for example, I'm a computer scientist. Like first year, very first year, like the coding, right? That's the time make or break it. If they don't learn that time, they're never able to learn it, right? So when we're teaching, so I just make sure I teach them whatever they're able to apply, able to relate it. Tomorrow I'm doing a talk for high school girls, Richmond, 10 to 12 year, why cybersecurity matters to kids, right? Why they have to worry about that. I do workshop. We also organize cybersecurity symposium. We do hackathons, like hacking activities, where, because the one reason we have in the cybersecurity, the unemployment rate, I'm not going to say 0%, you know better, is actually minus, right? I'm going to promote my subject here as well, because that's what I'm, right? So the other I can talk about in terms of like life lesson. My granddad always used to get up, like, you have to get up 6 o'clock in the morning. I said, like, why? Why on Sunday or Saturday and Sunday as well? He said, no, it doesn't matter. You have to make a habit, right, for hardworking and everything. And the one other thing I learned it, right, either you compromise or work hard. That's twice a year. Even I tell my students as well, Vancouver is expensive, right? Either compromise or work hard. That's the only option you have, not only Vancouver, anywhere, right? The other, I can talk about my experiences in Canada or in UK. I was with the God grace, I get what I wanted in terms of like the jobs. I don't have to, I'm not going to make up stories here that I struggle, I have to work hard. God was very kind to me. I came here 2013 August. I sent, I think, my CV to a couple of the universities. I interviewed 1 or 2 universities as well, but over there was sessional. And then Kwantlen, I got a job. I started my very first job August 2013 in Canada. But yes, as I think Carol and the others talk about the challenges and never say no, I do agree with that, right? So always learning, even for the volunteer work. At KPU, so far I taught 21 different subjects. The one reason for that, I never said no, because whenever there's a new opportunity came, they said, Mandeep, we're changing the subject and doing it. Are you okay to do it? I said, I'm absolutely fine. Even at Kwantlen, in terms of committees, I think, since 2014, I serve in Faculty Council, Curriculum, Senate of Research, as well as like some other committees, because I never say no, right? So life is learning, lifelong learning, so that's what I enjoy very much. My time is up, kind of, right? Okay, thank you very much, I appreciate it.